As we continue to talk about how to analyze in the field and what we're looking for, we always look for lines of direction that can lead our eye into the photograph. In this situation, we've got this real wonderful dead tree, and we've got a path that leads our eye right up to the tree. Now what I've done, I've set up high. I'm using a 17 to 35 millimeter wide angle lens, and the reason for that is that this lens allows you to pull far enough back in a wide angle version to allow the line that starts right at your feet to sweep into the distance. You could shoot the same photograph with a telephoto lens, but then you would simply be capturing just the tree, and you'd be concentrating on it, and you'd be compressing the scene. That might work as well, but the initial thought that I had when we drove up was that there were lines leading to that tree, and that if we could use a wide enough lens, we could use those lines to come right out of the very bottom of the frame, just past where the tripod legs are, and lead your eye up to the tree. And I think that's an effective way to do it. This particular lens is one that I use a lot, simply because between 17 millimeters and 35 millimeters, there's a lot of stretch in there to try different kinds of effects for different scenes. We have an electronic cable release. We're going to work on squeezing off some shots real easy and see what we get. Looks good. I'm going to try to use a little bit of exposure compensation to lighten this photograph up a little bit. Kind of a dark sky, even polarized there. So let's try it again. See if that helped any. Looks pretty good. I'm going to back the polarizer off just a little. Sometimes, if we're not careful, we can over polarize a shot and we can make it a lot darker than it should be. The sky is seldom ever black blue. So we're going to try another and see what we're getting here. Yeah, that helped a lot. Now I'm going to look at my histogram just to see what kind of histogram we're getting. Looks pretty good. Got good information at both ends of the scale. So one of the things we want to think about is lines of direction. Remember, what we want this to happen in the photograph is the lines to lead your eye up to the photograph itself. And it's a good technique to get the viewer to look at what you want them to look at in your photograph. I think that worked out pretty well. One of the things that we need to keep in mind when we're using leading lines into the photograph and into the subject matter is, where's the best place to shoot from? When we first drove up and parked the vehicle and walked down here, I took the camera without the tripod, took it off the tripod and walked around looking through the camera from different angles until I saw what worked. I mean, I looked at it horizontally, I looked at it vertically, and I moved back and forth around the scene until I found what I thought was really working. Now, since we walked up here, a cloud has appeared in the sky over here, and it actually has kind of changed the dynamics, and I'm glad that we talked about that, because we're going to make another shot, but we're going to simply move the tripod a little bit. We're going to recompose, and this time I'm going to compose so that that cloud that's in the upper left-hand corner is going to appear in the shot, which didn't appear in the first shot. So now that we've got it reset, make a couple of shots, take a peek, got a good histogram, and actually that works too. The most important thing about leading lines is that they need to lead into the photograph. And where you pick to stand is really important in terms of how that line's going to work for you.